Hi there, this is Paul Thompson from Spitfire Audio. I'm very excited today to be showing you our Hans Zimmer Percussion Library Professional Edition. And this expands the original Hans Zimmer Percussion Library. It includes all of the content from that, Hans's artist element mixes, but it also includes other artist mixes, some stereo mixes, and a variety of microphones, which have been balanced down. Obviously, you know that, for example, we've got 4 percussionists on many of these patches. And so what this is, where you see an overhead mic, that's obviously 4 sets of overhead mics that are balanced down to a single stereo pair. So we've got a ton of really great sounds in here and very diverse sounding microphones for you to use to create your own unique percussion sound for your own project. So I'm going to just jump straight in and start with the additional mics section, which has these 6 mic perspectives that we feel are the most diverse and most useful of the 96 or so mics that Jeff put out for the session. So let's leap in. I've got the all-in-one patch, so we can hear a variety of different sounds with each mic position, but we'll start with the overheads. So this is, as you might expect, a kind of, you know, not too far away from the instruments, but just a kind of a nice overhead stereo set. So you get the idea. This is a nice kind of spacious sound. It's got quite a lot of definition. Let's try a couple of different mics out. So let's move to a mid distance. Let's check out the stage stereo pair. So as you can hear, it's starting to get a little bit more distant sounding now. This is an interest. Actually, let's do gallery next. So the gallery is the most distant of these perspectives. And this is one of my favorites, piezo mic tree, which, as you might imagine, is 3 piezo mics gaffer taped to the floor of the studio. So it's a kind of really interesting sound. Amazingly clear. You wouldn't necessarily expect that. But it does have a very particular sound quality that is different from the other stuff. And then finally, we've got the bottle mics. And this is a microphone suspended within a plastic kind of office water bottle, if you imagine that kind of thing, which has a very kind of hollow sound. It's a great sound if you want a kind of weird sound, but also one of the nice things is it has a very good sub. So it's a really useful one for kind of finding the sub in the sound and then kind of feeding that in. You could, you know, low pass filter it just to get that rumble and that kind of power at the bottom end. But that sounds like this. You can hear down there when we go for the kind of slightly bigger drums, the lower pitch drums, that you really are feeling that kind of woof. And it's great, compressed, little bit of EQ, and as I say, roll off the top end, really useful sound. So those are the additional mics. Let's go into the root level of the folder, and you can see that we've got Hans, the artist element mixes. We've got various presets as well, the timps in there. We'll have a quick look at those as well later. And then we've got these 3 sections here, which are further artist elements. So these are, again, the 3 perspectives, in Jeff's case 4, slightly more traditional. But for Alan, for example, it's a close, a room sound, and a surround element. So let's jump into there, and you see we've got here the 3 sliders, and I'll give you a demonstration of all of those. So that sounds like this, so close perspective. So you can hear there, you really have excluded quite a lot of the room. So it's each of these artists are using different combinations of mics, and sometimes even just completely different close mics. There's a lot of mics set up. So there's a really wide variety of sound to choose from for making these mixes. And then you've got outboard processing that's being done as well to create a different character in the sound. One of the interesting things is what you're hearing really is a direct, it's a a series of artistic decisions, and it'll be certain people will focus on certain different elements of the sound that they're hearing for the drums. It's kind of obvious when you say it, but it's quite surprising how different this stuff sounds, and therefore how different you're able to make something sound just by the mics that you choose and the way that you position them. So let's check out the room section of Alan's stuff. So some really cool stuff in there. And then let's check out what we call, the remote control convention is to call this stuff surround. It doesn't mean it's 5.1. What it means is this is the signal that you tend to put at the back when you're doing a surround mix. It means the most ambient signal usually. So I'm selecting a drum to get the mic mixer to appear, but we've got, you can do, as I showed you in the other walkthrough, you can do per drum mic mixes. You can see there's a really great interface video actually put up by the guys in the support department, which focuses on the detail of the controls, but it's very, very powerful and configurable. So let's have a quick listen to this. So this is the close. Now Jeff's mixes, while still being mixes in the conventional sense rather than just raw microphones, tend to be conformed to the most kind of clean traditional sound of orchestral recording. So have a listen, you'll see what I mean. So really what you'd expect to hear with a close mic, nice and tight and dry. Let's listen to the Decca Tree. So you get the idea there. Let's skip to the outriggers, which are the wide, either side of the tree, slightly wider sound. So again, you can hear, especially when you have some of the sounds up in the gallery, you can hear a real distinct change. And then let's check out the most ambient mics. So you get the idea there. Now let's move on to Junkie's mixes. And again, we've got the same close, room and surround as we had with Alan's. Let's leap straight in. So here you can hear what Junkie wants to hear. It's really, really clear what the difference is between these. It's a very much more present, and he's found the sweet spot in the sound, and that's the thing that he's really pushed out. So it's much less about a kind of more naturalistic kind of sound and much more about a hyped sound. And let's have a look in stereo mixes. Now within the stereo mixes, which feature stereo mixes from the various artists, so Hans, Alan, Jeff, Junkie. We've also got Steve Lipson in here. So let's look, first of all, these are Hans's stereos. So this is a kind of, if you're going for just a general blend of the close, room and surround, this is what the kind of, it's a nice, simple way to save your system resources, use just one blend. It's fewer voices that you're using in the sampler. So here's Alan's perspective on the kind of overall stereo mix. Okay, here's Jeff's. And Junkie's. And then finally we have Steve's stereo mix. So you get the idea. These are, you know, a nice variety, 5 different flavors of stereo mix. Really simple, load and play. Let's jump back out of here. Actually, I'll show you within the presets menu, you've got the individual instruments, so you don't have to load the all-in-one. It's also incredibly simple to set up your own, but I'll leave that for the technical how does it work walkthrough. If we go back, you can see that that also exists within these artist mixes as well. But I'm going to jump back to the very top, and I'm just going to load up the timpani, and we'll have a quick listen to 2 of the timpani options. Just pull this down a tiny bit. So with the hard sticks, close perspective. Now you've got, it's ready set up for 2-handed playing, which is nice and easy. Just so you can hear the different sounds actually. Soft sticks. We've got the rods. And then you've got your rolls there as well. Let's just jump forward to the room perspective. So again, we'll start with the rods. Soft sticks. Hard sticks. Okay, and then our surround. Soft sticks. And rods. Okay, so you get the idea there. And then as a contrast to that, we'll quickly load up Jeff. And let's stick with the hard sticks. Soft sticks. Rods. So you get the idea there. Let's change up to the tree. Soft. Hard. Very, very dynamic. Ambience. Soft. Rods. And then the outriggers, which again work really well with the tree as a kind of slightly wider sound. So let's just also, for one final comparison, check out Alan's. We'll start with the hard sticks again. Close. Here's the room perspective. And the surround perspective. Soft sticks. Rods. And then again the close. Let's pop back straight to the close on the rods. Really, really different. So it's great. There's a really wide variety of different sound profiles, all kinds of interesting stuff in here that you can use in your tracks. So this is the Hans Zimmer Percussion Professional Edition with mixes from Hans himself, Alan, Jeff, Junkie XL, Steve Lipson. Really amazing array of talent. Very, very unique kind of sounds in here. Amazing musicians, really first call players in London, and you know, the beautiful acoustic of the hall at Air Lyndhurst Studios in London. So I hope you're going to have a lot of fun with this. Thank you very much for watching, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye bye.